is not the one.
The 11 says, now if perfection was through the Levitical priesthood.
Yes, that's the one.
For on the basis of it,
yes,
the people received the law.
Yes.
What further need was there for another priest to arise according to the order of Melchizedek, and not be designated according to the order of Aaron?
So this now Paul, as I'm closing, is telling us now of the imperfections of the two orders of priesthood, that was the Levitical and the Aaronic priesthood, because they were institutionalized by people. So he's saying if these two kinds and order of priesthood were perfect, there was no need for Melchizedek to come. So the coming of Melchizedek is coming to correct the wrongness, the imperfections of the priesthood of Aaron and Levi. Aaron, each and every time, and his children, the deputies, they used to enter the tabernacle and the Order of Holies once a year. Which means if I sin on the 1st of January, my sin will stay with me up to the 31st of December, waiting for Aaron to go and atone for my sins. So he could go and sacrifice only a year. But Melchizedek, who became the highest priest, is not limited by time. When I sin, his blood discovers me. And every sin's longevity was predicated on the age of that lamb that I've given. Which means if I have taken a goat that's 2 years old, my forgiveness was 2 years old. After 2 years old, I must go back to Aaron again with another sacrifice. So it was expensive. But when Jesus Christ is entering the Order of Holies, he has entered it once and for all. Come on, somebody. I don't know if I'm talking to somebody. So their responsibilities, the Levites and the priest, was to make sacrifices and rituals in the tabernacle, later in the temple in Jerusalem. So this comparison now that Paul is bringing serves as a highlight to Jesus' superiority. Come on, somebody shout, Jesus is super. And infinity of his priesthood. So Jesus Christ was superior over these other kinds of priesthood, and he was eternal. Whose priesthood he was presented as the highest priest according to the order of Melchizedek. So Paul argues now that Melchizedek's priesthood is superior to the Levitical priesthood for several reasons. Number one, put this down. Melchizedek blessed Abraham, indicating his spiritual authority and historical precedence over Levi. That's the first argument of Paul. That Melchizedek is greater than any other priest. Why? He blessed Abraham. The Bible teaches us to respect Abraham. That Abraham is our father. If the promises of Jesus Christ are ours, then Abraham's blessings are ours. Glory to Jesus. If the promises that are in Christ are ours, then Abraham's blessings are mine. So he becomes the father figure in my life. But Paul is arguing that there is another figure that blessed your father, whose name is Melchizedek, which means Melchizedek was superior over Abraham, and yet a superior historical precedence. His existence now is not bound with the time. Before the beginning began, he began. Before the beginning began, he had that precedence. Levi waited for time and history to come so that he may be introduced. Number two, Paul highlights that Abraham paid tithes to Melchizedek, suggesting his grandeur, suggesting his superiority, suggesting his spiritual authority over the Hebrew people. Number three, he is highlighting again, Paul, that the continuity and permanence of Melchizedek's priesthood it transcends the other priesthoods and orders that came. So his priesthood, Melchizedek, number one, is not subject to death. Come on, somebody, you are not going to die, because you are in the order of Melchizedek. And his priesthood again is not subject Christ. He entered the Holy of Holies once and for all. He stands alone. Come on, somebody. When Aaron came, he had his match in Eleazar. After Eleazar, they came other priests. When David came, he had his match in Solomon. Come on, somebody.